Hello, it's Judith here with this week's video. Last week I talked about what hypnotherapy is, and for those of you who watched it, I talked about, for the very first time, using an AI app to give me the bones of a script for the recording. And in fact, I was incredibly impressed with the answers it gave to the questions, because it was pretty much what I was going to say anyway, which is reassuring on both counts that I'm saying the right thing, but also how useful the AI app is. Now, I'm not using it this week because it's going to be a bit more personal to me, but one of the things that it did say was make sure you have a free consultation before deciding to work with somebody. And I absolutely do agree with that. And that is what I do with every potential client, a quick chat on the phone. And that's about, firstly, for me, understanding what the issue is that you want to deal with. And I'm happy for people to tell me as much or as little as they want to at that stage. For me to start setting expectations about exactly what we talked about last week, what hypnosis is, what hypnotherapy is, and also, depending on what they've come for, what the likely approach is going to be, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. So for everybody, it is slightly different, but for certain groups of people, there are certain things that will immediately come into my mind when I'm talking to them. So I will share just a little bit. So again, setting expectations of what might happen if they come and work with me. And then as important, if not more important than all the rest, is any questions that they might have. I have always recommended that you look at more than one person, and if you can find more than one that appeals to you, you talk to more than one person, because the relationship between you and the person you're working with is really important in terms of not just your comfort, but also the success that you will have by having hypnotherapy. So it is important to do that. What factors are you going to take into account? Well, geography is important for many people, although all of us now will work online as well. Checking out their website and maybe their social media pages to make sure, A, that they deal with the issue that you have, and B, they feel right. I can't put it any more complicated than that. Does this feel right? Does this person feel right for you? So when you're having the consultation call, it isn't all about me finding out about you or talking to you or trying to persuade you to come and see me, which I'm not ever doing. It is about you getting to know me a little bit and feeling whether this is right for you, I am right for you or not. And I'd recommend you do that with more than one person if you possibly can. In my case, I've told you what happens on the free consultation. And at that point, I will ask you what you want to do. It's okay to say, I want to go away and think about it. It's okay to say, yeah, please, when you're available, can I make a booking? And most times I think people, having got that far, having made that difficult decision, having made contact, which is also difficult, and then having had the conversation, which is another difficult step to take, then, obviously if they feel I'm right for them, then the best thing to do is to just do it, just book an appointment. Having booked the appointment, I will then email them my consent form, which is more than a consent form. Yes, it's getting across my terms and conditions, and I do ask you to sign it, but it's also collecting basic information that I need in order to work with you. And as I say, it is basic stuff, so it saves time in our first session. So if you're coming to see me, you fill in the form, send it back to me, and I then have a chance to look at it and think about how we're going to work together. First session is probably the most standard one, but even then it isn't. So let's do the basics, and then we'll look at the exceptions. I will obviously have looked at the consent form you filled in. If I have any questions about what you've put there, then I will ask them, or if I need any clarification. I will then take you through a questionnaire which helps us both to dig a bit deeper into whatever the issue is you've come to me for. So asking questions to enable me and you possibly to fully understand why you're here, most importantly, what it is you want to achieve. What's our objective? If you're coming to me for a number of sessions, what outcome do we want, and how will we know when we've got there? That's really important because it's you that will know when you've got there, not me. I'm not inside your head. I don't know how you're, well, I do know a bit about how you're feeling, but fundamentally it's your decision when you're done. And then there will be an opportunity for a hypnotherapy session, which is for people who've never had it before, a nice gentle introduction with a little bit of therapy in, which is useful for most people. So that's the standard approach. What can go differently is, as we're going through, particularly the questionnaire, when we're trying to hone in on what the issue is, quite often an awful lot of stuff comes out. So there are occasions when all that happens in that first session is talking, because often once people have started, and I frequently hear, you know, I've not told this to any other living soul, or only this person knows about it. Once the client has started speaking, once you have started speaking to make it more friendly, then you probably don't want to stop. And so we will do that. And until you have said everything you want to say, or everything you want to say at this point. That's the main reason I will deviate. So the main reason, the main way that the session might be different is that we go through the consent form, we go through the questionnaire, a whole load of stuff comes out. As a result of that, I may well do some gentle coaching on that to help us both understand what's going on, and to help us both define or refine what the objective is, because sometimes the objective isn't what you thought the objective was, or there may be more than one objective. I think that's about it for non-standard ones. That's the main reason that we don't do the normal format, and that means there is no experience of hypnotherapy, but there's an awful lot of information that's been gained that is going to move the thing forward. The key for me, and I say this at the end of the consultation session as well as in the first session, is that I don't expect people to book anything more than one session. I'm happy for people to book as they go, and people often need to because they're not sure what their diary is going to be like. I'm happy to book a set of sessions if that's what you want. But the first one is just a single session. And the reason for that is going back to the importance of you being comfortable working with me. We've had a telephone conversation, which is wonderful. And you've obviously decided that it looks or feels good enough for you to book that first session. Going through the session, experiencing me, asking questions, maybe, as I say, doing a bit of coaching, generally doing some hypnotherapy, gives you a better idea. So at the end of that first session, the question that I ask is, do you want to come back again? Is this right for you? And apart from you being comfortable working with me, it's important that you, having heard, during that session, how we're going to progress from there on in. It's always flexible and it can change, and it often does. But generally, at this point, what I'm thinking we're going to do, at least in the next session, it's important that you have some tiny little seed of belief that this is going to work for you. Because if you don't believe it's not going to work, even if you decide you like me, but if you don't believe that what I'm doing is going to help, then it probably won't. So those are the two important factors. So that's it really, a very simple process. You contact me, however, we arrange the free consultation call. You decide at the end of that what you want to do. If you're booking an appointment, we do that then and there. Just the one appointment. I send you the consent form. You fill it in, send it back to me. We have that first session, and then you get to decide if this is right for you, if you think it's going to help you, because that's really, really important. So, hope that's helped to de-fear it, is the phrase in my head. I have had the odd instance where we haven't had a conversation, very rare, or we haven't had time for a very long consultation, or even if we have, it's still another big step sometimes to actually come and see me and come to a session where, although I've told you what's going to happen, you're not absolutely sure what that's going to be like. So quite often people are nervous, and I can usually pick that up and deal with it. So that's it from me for this week. That's what will happen if you decide to contact me for help. As I say, to try and take some of the fear away. I think the most important thing is to say as a conclusion is that what happens in that session, yes, I've got a plan, but what happens in that session, you are in control of. Nothing will happen in that session that you don't want to happen. And the same is true of when you're in hypnosis. You are still in control. And if you needed to come out of hypnosis, you can. Very rarely happens, but you need to know that it's a possibility. So most important thing to finish with is you are always in control, not me. Okay then. Thanks a lot for watching or listening if you have been, and I'll be back again next week with another topic. Bye.